You wake up each morning with two voices already battling in your head. One whispers comfort, telling you to stay under the covers, to hit the snooze, to wait until tomorrow. The other voice calls you higher, urging you to rise, to take command of your life, to step into the discipline that creates true freedom. The hidden role of circadian rhythms in energy and fatigue is one of the greatest mysteries of the human body, yet it is written into the very fabric of creation. From the very beginning of time, when light was separated from darkness, a rhythm was placed not only in the earth, but in our very cells. Your brain, your hormones, and every organ of your body are bound to this divine clock, a 24-hour cycle that governs your strength, your focus, and your rest. When you rise with the morning light, your eyes are not just opening to the world, they are opening the gates to your inner temple of energy. Light enters through the eyes, not simply for vision, but as a sacred signal to your brain that it is time to awaken, to release the very chemicals that fuel your alertness and sharpen your mind. Cortisol, often misunderstood as a stress hormone, is actually the fire of awakening when it surges in the early hours, meant to lift you, meant to ignite you, meant to set your spirit ablaze with readiness for the day. Yet when this rhythm is broken, when you ignore the light and live outside of the pattern God has set, fatigue and confusion creep in like shadows. Staying up deep into the night under artificial light tells your body a lie. It whispers to your brain that day has not ended, that the sun has not set, and so melatonin, the gift of rest, is withheld. Without that rest, without that restoration, your mornings feel heavy, your mind feels clouded, and your energy dwindles. The rhythm is not a suggestion. It is a law, as sure as the rising and setting of the sun, and just as the ocean obeys the pull of the moon, your body obeys the cycle of light and dark. To fight it is to fight the very design of your creator. Think about how often we pray for strength, how often we ask for focus, clarity, energy. But the answer lies not only in the spiritual realm, but also in honoring the order that has been given to us through creation. Every cell in your body carries a clock, a sacred timekeeper. Your liver knows when to digest, your muscles know when to repair, your brain knows when to store memory, and all of it is aligned by the cycle of the sun. When you step into that rhythm, when you honor the morning light, when you embrace the darkness of night for rest, you are not just living healthier, you are living in obedience to the way you were made. This is why fatigue is not always a sign of weakness, but often a sign of misalignment. You are not broken, you are simply out of rhythm. And like an instrument that has fallen out of tune, your body longs to be reset, recalibrated, brought back into harmony. When you stand in the morning and let the light touch your eyes, you are turning the key. You are opening the gates of energy. You are telling your brain, your heart, your very spirit that the time of awakening has come. It is a daily covenant, a reminder that your body is not meant for chaos, but for order, not for confusion, but for clarity, not for constant fatigue, but for power. Light is not just illumination, it is the master key that unlocks the gates of wakefulness, the signal that tells every cell in your body that life must move forward. The very first command spoken into existence was, "Let there be light." And from that moment, creation has been governed by the rising and setting of the sun. Your brain was designed to respond to that holy command. Your eyes created not only for sight, but for signaling your soul and body to rise into alertness. When light enters your eyes in the morning, it strikes deep into the brain, into the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the clock of all clocks, the throne room of time inside your mind. From there, signals spread like fire through your body, waking the adrenal glands to release cortisol, awakening the mind to focus, awakening the heart to beat with strength. It is not random, it is order, divine, and unshackable. When you deny yourself morning light, when you remain cloaked in darkness or bathed in artificial glow, you confuse your inner sanctuary. The brain cannot discern the false light of screens from the true light of the sun, and so your rhythm is broken. Cortisol rises at the wrong hour. Melatonin lingers too long, and fatigue chains you like a prisoner. The morning, which was meant to be your launching pad, becomes a weight. Your energy, your motivation, your spirit itself feels dulled, not because you are weak, but because the master signal has been missed. God has tied the heavens and your biology together. Just as the sun rises faithfully, your body was meant to rise faithfully with it. Light is more than photons. It is a sacred appointment, an alignment between the creator and the created. Step outside in the morning. Let the rays touch your eyes, not behind glass, not filtered through walls, but directly. In those moments, you are not simply standing in the sun. You are standing in obedience, sensing your body's time with heaven's time. Think of how many people cry for energy, cry for focus, cry for clarity, yet they begin their mornings scrolling in darkness, shielding themselves from the very power that was designed to awaken them. They chase caffeine, they chase stimulants, they chase motivation, but overlook the original stimulant, the original wake-up call, the light of morning. It is no coincidence that the scriptures speak of light as revelation, as truth, as power, because even in your biology, light reveals, light empowers, light brings life. Every habit you build around the morning must begin with this one act of surrender, receiving the light. It is free, it is abundant, it is faithful every day, and it has the power to realign your body, your mind, and your spirit. Without it, you are like a ship without a compass, drifting, tired, confused. With it, you are anchored, strong, and awake in the deepest sense. Movement is not merely exercise, it is prayer in motion, a declaration that this body is alive, that it is ready to serve, to act, to carry purpose. In the beginning, the Spirit of God moved over the waters, and that movement brought forth creation. You were created in that image, designed not for stagnation, but for action. When you move your body, even for just a few minutes after waking, you send a holy signal throughout your nervous system. We are alive, we are ready, we are aligned. That movement awakens the muscles, but more than that, it awakens the brain. It triggers the release of dopamine, the very molecule of motivation, the spark of forward motion. It floods your bloodstream with adrenaline and norepinephrine, sharpening your focus, lifting your spirit, clearing the fog of slumber. Stillness in the body breeds stillness in the mind, but not the kind that brings peace, the kind that brings paralysis. When you remain still in the morning, the machinery of your biology stays idling. Your heart rate remains low, your blood flows sluggish, and your brain stays half asleep even when your eyes are open. But when you move, when you stretch, walk, jump, or lift, even for just 5 to 10 minutes, you flip a switch. You activate the vestibular system, the balance network of the brain, which then energizes the cortex, the place of focus, thought, and decision. You literally shake the soul awake. There is a reason even the psalmists wrote of rising early and lifting their hands, clapping, dancing before the Lord. Movement was worship. Movement was spiritual readiness. And even now, modern science confirms what the ancient texts already declared. Your body is the gateway to mental clarity. If you want a brain that is sharp, you must first honor the temple in which it dwells. Too often people try to think their way out of tiredness. They sit and wait for energy to arrive like a visitor. But energy is not something you wait for. It is something you generate. And the simplest, most faithful way to generate it is to move the very body God gave you. You do not need a gym. You do not need equipment. You do not need perfection. You need willingness, willingness to walk, willingness to push, willingness to break the chains of lethargy with the sword of action. Even Jesus, after long nights in prayer, would walk from town to town, climb mountains, move through crowds. His ministry was not seated, it was sent. And in the same way, your mission today begins with movement. When you rise and move, you are not just burning calories, you are igniting your calling. You are saying to your brain, we are not victims of fatigue, we are vessels of strength. Your posture changes, your breathing deepens, your blood delivers oxygen to every part of your being. The fog lifts, the world looks clearer, and you begin to see that tiredness is not always a spiritual attack. It is often a physiological silence waiting to be broken by movement. The enemy loves stagnation. He knows that if he can keep your body still, he can keep your mind stuck. But when you move, you resist that trap. You rewire your brain to seek momentum, to crave action, to love discipline. You become alert not just in body, but in spirit. You open the door for wisdom, for creativity, for courage to enter. You invite the presence of clarity to dwell with you as you move forward into your day, no longer sluggish, but set on fire by the simple sacred act of movement. Rest is not weakness, rest is warfare. The body and the brain were created with rhythms, and when you resist those rhythms, you fight against the very design God placed in you. Fatigue is often not a lack of willpower, but a signal, a divine whisper, that your nervous system is overloaded, your circuits are overheated, your temple is crying out for restoration. Sleep is not simply unconsciousness. It is the great recalibration, the sacred sanctuary where memories are sorted, toxins are washed from the brain, and hormones of renewal are released. To ignore it is to deny yourself the very fuel your spirit needs to carry the mission of your life. When you lay your head to rest, you are not stepping out of battle, you are rearming. In the stillness of night, your brain clears away the waste of yesterday, prepares the circuits of thought for tomorrow, and fortifies the fortress of your mind against fear, doubt, and despair. To neglect rest is to march into battle without armor, to wield a sword with trembling hands. But when you honor the rhythm of restoration, you wake clothed in strength, your mind sharp, your emotions steady, your soul anchored. Science now confirms what Scripture declared long ago. There is a time to labor and a time to lie down, a time to sow and a time to reap, a time to rise and a time to sleep. The nervous system functions on cycles, on the delicate balance between activity and restoration. Cortisol, the stress hormone, rises with the sun to wake you, and melatonin, the sleep hormone, rises with the darkness to restore you. To fight this order is to invite chaos into your biology. And when chaos takes root, your mind becomes restless, your body weary, your focus shattered. Do not glorify exhaustion. Do not wear burnout like a badge of honor. The enemy delights in a tired saint because a tired saint cannot pray with fire, cannot see with clarity, cannot stand with strength. But when you embrace rest, when you guard your sleep like a holy treasure, you are building a shield around your destiny. You are saying, I will not run on fumes. I will run on the Spirit. I will not stumble in fog. I will walk in light. Even the Creator himself rested on the seventh day, not because he was weary, but to model a rhythm for us. Rest is not optional, it is sacred. It is obedience, it is wisdom. Each night when you surrender to sleep, you are entrusting your fragile humanity into the hands of the one who never slumbers nor sleeps. Your nervous system, your immune defenses, your very soul are being recalibrated so that when morning comes, you rise not as the same person who lay down, but as one who has been renewed in secret. When you refuse rest, you invite confusion, but when you embrace it, you unlock clarity, discipline, and divine strength. Sleep becomes the gate through which focus and energy enter. It is not passive, it is powerful. It is the pause that prepares you for victory. Discipline is not merely about forcing yourself into rigid routines, it is the divine order that aligns your mind, body, and spirit with the very laws of creation. Without discipline, your nervous system drifts aimlessly, your focus scatters, your emotions control you instead of you controlling them. But with discipline, something supernatural happens, your brain rewires, your habits transform, and your spirit gains mastery over impulses that once enslaved you. Discipline is the spiritual governor that tames the wild horse of desire, guiding it not into destruction, but into purpose. Every neuron in your brain is waiting to be trained. When you choose discipline, you are carving pathways of power, etching circuits of obedience into your very biology. Each act of self-control is not just a momentary victory, it is a brick laid in the fortress of your character. And soon, what once felt like resistance becomes rhythm. What once demanded great effort becomes natural because your brain has aligned with the divine principle of order. Discipline unlocks freedom. The undisciplined are slaves to every craving, tossed by every distraction, chained by every emotion. But the disciplined are free. They rise when others sleep. They stand when others fall. They endure when others quit. This freedom is not the absence of boundaries, but the presence of divine structure where the spirit leads and the flesh obeys. The disciplined life silences the chaos of the world and tunes the soul to the frequency of heaven. Consider fasting. The body craves, the mind resists, yet the spirit grows stronger. Consider prayer at dawn while others chase sleep. The disciplined rise and commune with eternity, setting their entire nervous system under the governance of the Almighty. These acts are not just spiritual, they are biological, rewiring the brain for resilience, sharpening focus, training hormones and neurotransmitters to serve purpose rather than sabotage it. Discipline is the hand that holds the sword steady in battle. Without it, zeal burns out quickly. With it, passion endures. Discipline transforms fleeting motivation into lasting transformation. It takes the spark of desire and fans it into a flame that cannot be extinguished. It takes the potential inside you and molds it into destiny. The one who masters discipline masters the battlefield of the mind. And when the mind is conquered, the body follows and the soul is liberated. Discipline is not punishment, it is preparation. It is not denial, it is direction. It is the way in which your brain, your biology, and your spirit are harnessed together to run the race set before you, not stumbling, not slowing, but pressing on with unstoppable momentum toward the mark of eternal victory.